Welcome to H.J. Long Gymnasium here in Greenville, Illinois, on the campus of Greenville University for tonight's SLIAC Men's Basketball Championship game between the number 1 seeded and host Greenville University Panthers and the number 3 seeded Webster University Gorloks. Tyler Rosen and Doug Faulkner alongside you in what makes to be a very fun championship game between two teams that split the season series. Both games played to 5 points or less.
Yeah, it was a Webster win earlier in the year at their place, 114-109. Greenville returned the favor, winning 119-115. One of the things, Tyler, that you do see is Webster making an adjustment to Greenville. They only average 73 points a game, but they're averaging, a little bit over 30 points their average when they play Greenville. They do a good job of adjusting to the Greenville style.
Yeah, we kind of knew that it was going to be, if the Panthers advance, it was going to be a mismatch or a hodgepodge of styles of play. And Patrick to take the tip for the Panthers, and it is won by the Gorloks, and Carl Moore Jr. is ready to go. And immediately coming away with a steal is Malik Johnson for the Panthers. He goes up and gets 2. Quick start here for Greenville, just 10 seconds into the game.
There was some net issues to start this game. Wow.
A steal by Acevedo off the inbound. Quick 4-0 start for the Panthers.
And, this is not the typical starting unit. And they're off to a great start here.
Yeah, this is really that third unit primarily throughout the year. Get a blocking foul on Goad. And the shot was no good, so we'll go to the line for a couple.
Yeah, Malik Johnson, Brandon Tully, Acevedo, and Goad usually in on what we call the third unit. And Coach Barber has been playing Patrick with that unit lately. And Patrick varies. He can play in all three lineups depending upon how Coach Barber wants to use him. But he usually is playing with what I would call the number 1 unit. And sometimes he starts that number 1 unit and sometimes he doesn't.
2 for 2 for Diallo on that trip to the line. Dribble along the baseline, kicked in the corner. Tully's 3, no good off the rim. Rebound to Diallo. So Tully, he had 9 last night, 3 big threes. Misses his first here, and another turnover committed by the Gorloks. Saved by Goad, flip to Tully. He keeps it in play. Back to Goad, drops it to Patrick, who gets 2 off the glass. 6-2, Panthers in front, just a minute gone.
This group has brought an awful lot of energy right away, and that this group has a tendency to do that.
A couple of players get the feet tangled up. It falls to Diallo. His shot contested, no good. Tip back up, no good. And now Goad coming back the other way for the Panthers. Pulls up, shot was blocked by Carl Moore Jr.
I know you want to go fast, but I don't think Goad wants to go 1-on-3.
No, not with Carl Moore Jr. as well. Now a foul on the floor committed by the Panthers. Are going to get Acevedo there as he fouled Diallo.
Well, a great start for that unit nonetheless. Really, really good start.
And get back to one of those primary units for the Panthers, as Doug and I have called the Panthers most of the season. And the Gorloks will cycle around the perimeter, worked into the far corner, finds Reed, and tried to get it to Moore, and it was blocked. Went through some traffic. Patrick flips it up the floor, saved by Grimmett Glenn. And it's worked back to Patrick, to Rodriguez in the corner. Patrick along the baseline, fakes, then goes up with the reverse and gets 2. Draws a timeout by Chris Bunch and the Gorloks with 18:04 to play, an 8-2 Panther lead.
Well, such a different type of game for Webster, Tyler, in terms of what they had to do less than, 24 hours ago, maybe a little bit more than 24 hours ago. If I'm doing my math right, they had to play such a methodical game against Spalding, and now they have to readjust and really ramp it up. And I think you're seeing a little bit of an adjustment for the Gorloks here early.
That's such a good point there, Doug, in that it is an awfully quick turnaround really for both these teams playing last night. But for such a reversal, as you mentioned, in the style of play for Webster is certainly going to take seemingly a little bit of time to find the footing. They trail by 6 here. Just about 18 minutes left to go in this first half. Moore Jr. to inbound. Patrick will defend. 18:04. Luster, he had a great game last night.
Yeah, he did.
Worked up the floor, quick passing to Reed. Takes a couple steps and he's fouled. That's the third already for the Panthers.
Well, this style, although it's not, the favored style of Webster, I mean, Sykes and Moore, these guys are going to be really effective, I think, in the full court. Here's the other guy at the line right now is another one, right? I mean, anything. I mean, he is just so good off the dribble jump shooter. He's probably going to get his today.
Yeah, Reed had 11 last night. He goes 1 for 2 on that trip. And it was kind of a sneaky 11, and Reed was often involved in other ways as well last night. That pass turned over as Sykes hops in front of the passing lane, spins around one, can't get the finish, but following right there and getting 2 is Hibbert. And turned it over on the inbound.
Yeah, Como threw it against the board, trying to go fast. So it's kind of a flurry of turnovers to start the game for Webster, and then Greenville feels obligated to do the same here.
All of a sudden, a 3-point game. It was 8-2, and Patrick comes up with a steal, and then he's fouled by Luster as Luster reaches in, trying to bring Patrick back. First team foul of the night in this first half for the Gorlocks. That'll bring on a substitute, and it'll be Booker Simmons.
Patrick has 4 points early in this game to lead the Panthers. You can see Webster's 2-3 zone here.
To Taj Como, kick back out, Grimmick led. Leaves it for Patrick, reverse no good. Taj Como skies in for the rebound, may have gotten away with a walk. Patrick kicks in the corner to Rodriguez. He fakes, now dribbles through 2, spins, left it for Patrick. Ball loose on the floor, picked up by Kiari Patrick. Somehow gets it up and in for 2 over a couple of defenders.
Yeah, Patrick doing a nice job inside. He's a talented player, but he's also a very smart player.
Quickly up the floor, fake, and 2 off the glass for Booker Simmons, Jr. out of St. Louis. Jalen Williams, he had 16 last night as Rodriguez puts up a 3, no good. Rebound to Sykes, works up to Simmons. That one's taken away by Rodriguez. Pushing the floor with no help. Doesn't slow down, works through 2, he's fouled and 1. 16:30 to play in the first half. Rodriguez going to the line for an extra.
Yeah, Webster turning the ball over more than they're accustomed to. I mean, this is a team that takes care of the ball. They already have 6 turnovers here. They can go a whole game and stay under 15 turnovers. So Greenville's press has been effective here early. It's still only a 5-point game, even with that press being effective and with those 6 turnovers from Webster.
And he can't make the extra kid, Vincent Rodriguez. And now here come the Gorlocks back down the floor, trailing by 5. Hibbert slows, gives it back to Sykes at the perimeter. Simmons now being double teamed by Alvarez, as well as Gerard Webb. Sykes gets it in to Hugo, who gives it right back, and Sykes with a tough finish high off the window.
Yeah, nice little soft arching shot there by Sykes.
Team Como kicks to Alvarez, wing 3, was about halfway down, rimmed out. Hugo will get the rebound. Simmons up to Hibbert, thought about getting it to Reed, leaves it for Hugo, who drives, finishes, and 1. And with the free throw upcoming, could tie this game up at 12.
It's been a good start to this game. If you're here watching on your screen there, 12-11. It's a lot of excitement here with, not even 5 minutes into it.
Isaiah Griffin into the game for the Panthers, and Gabe McCrary into the game for Hibbert for Webster.
Coach Bunch substituting here frequently because of the pressing style, but also my guess is because of just playing last night. He's going to try to keep all of his players fresh. One of the best coaches in the league, Chris Bunch for Webster.
Hugo can convert, so it's a 12-12 score, and turned over by Crespo. Here come the Gorlocks back at the other end, almost taken away. It falls to Reed. He's fouled as he puts up a shot, fading away. We'll go to the line for two, 15:33 to play in the first half.
Yeah, Greenville's committed 3 turnovers of their own. All 12 points for Greenville coming on turnovers. And Webster scored almost half of their points from the free throw line. That makes them 5 of 6. And so they're not only shooting free throws, but they're shooting them well.
Reed's second, no good off the rim. So it'll remain a 1-point Gorlock lead. Here's Webb. Finds Tayin Como. Kicks to Crespo, drives baseline, reverse, and finish. Panthers back on top by a point.
That's a great trap there in the corner. That led to the steal.
Crespo had it and then had it taken away by Diallo. Back at the other end, Diallo can't finish. Loose ball knocked out of bounds. It'll go to the Panthers. 15:04 to play here in the first half.
Greenville is 7 of 12 from the field, shooting 58%. Webster is 4 of 7, shooting 57%. Greenville's yet to hit a 3, and Webster's yet to take one.
And they might not take many tonight, as we become accustomed to seeing against the Greenville Panthers. You don't need to put up a ton of threes. Rodriguez finds Patrick, who goes through the paint and gets 2. Extends the lead to 3 for Greenville. 5 minutes gone by here in the first half.
I do think one of the keys is how easily can Greenville score against the Webster 2-3 zone.
Shot from Sykes was blocked. Check that. Simmons was blocked. Stays with the Gorlocks. Hugo hesitates, then goes up and gets 2. Nice soft touch. Dropped on in. 16-15, Panthers in front. Glenn's forced out to the perimeter. Gives it to Taj Como. Just got it past the hand of Simmons. Gives it back to Glenn. Another find to Patrick along the baseline, and he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, early against this 2-3 zone, Greenville's been able to throw it in the middle, Tyler. And then that possession, they really struggled. They didn't have a strong cutter come to the middle. And I think that's going to be one of the things that unlatches that 2-3 zone.
We've got a media timeout. We'll step aside here. 14-12 left to play in the first half here on SLIAC TV. $14-12 left to play in the first half. Panther is leading the Gorlocks by 1 point. As both teams are making their way out onto the floor, Tyler Rose and Doug Faulkner alongside you. SLIAC Men's Basketball Championship on SLIAC TV.
Yeah, you feel like you've almost played a complete first half when you play this Greenville style, and it's only 16-15.
Gorlocks inbound. And trying to break the press is Diallo. Goes all the way around Patrick. Slows up just past the timeline. Finds Reed. Gives it to Simmons. His shot no good as he took a tumble down to the floor quickly. Up the court, and Jalen Williams gets 2.
Williams doing a nice job breaking out. Good pass by Rodriguez.
Press right back on as McCrary gives it back. He gets the feed from Diallo. Now works it up the floor. Had Hugo sitting wide open. and Taj Como sends the would-be pass out of play. We'll stay with the Gorlocks. They worked across the timeline. 13:38 to play, 21 to shoot for Webster.
It's kind of a late arriving crowd. Feel like we're in Los Angeles. But the crowd now is getting to where you thought it would be. It's just a little bit late arriving here.
Yeah, Chavez Ravine doesn't fill up till about the top of the third inning, right?
Yeah.
Try to get it into Sykes. Works its way back out to Carl Moore Jr. Great find down low and a two-hand jam by Alpha Diallo. Rodriguez to Williams, who fakes, dribbles in. It's a deep two, too strong off the heel. Patrick was there. Taj Como with a save, but it finds the Gorlocks. It's a heck of an effort. Patrick coming from behind, knocks it free. Loose, and Patrick tried to get it to Williams. It was knocked away, still falls to Williams. Williams now going the length of the floor, and he's fouled on his way up.
Yeah, a lot of action right in front of us where we had a difficult time seeing, right in front of Coach Barber and that bench. Patrick doing a great job diving on the floor, getting the loose ball, and then getting it to a teammate.
Somehow staying in bounds. So he was sliding on over towards the bench. Keeps it alive. Now Williams at the free throw line. Knocks in the first. Sat on the front of the rim, got it to drop. We get some changes here for the Panthers. Lofton, Griffin, Crespo, Alvarez. Head coach Chris Bunch has a word with the official right off his bench. 23rd season for Chris Bunch at the helm. And knocks it in, does Williams. So it's back to a three-point Panther lead. He'll be replaced by Gerard Webb with Jalen Williams. Carl Moore Jr. to inbound.
Greenville now 2 of 3 from the free throw line.
Luster. Now Sykes drops it back. Trying to get McCrary. The pass was behind him from Diallo. Now the Panthers coming back the other way. Crespo thought about it. Kicked into the corner. Three on its way. No good from Webb.
Nice pass by Crespo. Give Webb the open look.
McCrary breaks the press, brings it across the timeline. Carl Moore Jr. shot no good. He thought he was fouled, and they have had a argument there. It's knocked out of bounds. Last touched by the Gorlocks. Oh no, check that, a foul on Sykes. 12:29 to play in the first half.
I thought the officials signaled. I think that was the number of the player. Check that. Thought he was saying it's a 1-and-1. Yeah.
2017 our score. Panthers of Greenville University in front. Number 1 seed and host. Webb. Mid-range along the baseline was no good. Tapped out of bounds by the Panthers. And so the Gorlocks will inbound and look to potentially tie on this trip down the floor, trailing 2017, 12-19 to play. Having trouble getting in is Moore. He does. Lofton able to get a hand on it and tip it out as Sebastian Reed, the intended target. Sebastian Reed, sophomore out of Atlanta, Georgia, mentioned had 11 points yesterday. Big part of the win over Spalding.
Webster has 8 turnovers here early. On the positive side, they have 10 rebounds.
Long pass up the floor. Luster tracks it down and keeps the momentum in control as he gets 2. 20-19. Gorlocks trailing. Alvarez off the point. Gives it back to Webb. Drive and kick. Griffin's 3 is good.
That's the first 3 of the evening for the Panthers.
Makes it a 4-point Panther lead, and now Sykes up to Reed. Luster gives it right back on the bounce. Reed gets it to go. Absorbs some contact too. Tough finish. Approaching 11.5 to play. Lofton stops, drops it down to Gerard Webb, who gets 2. He finished through some contact as well.
Yeah, nice double clutch there by Webb. He does that so well. He's so under control there.
Luster collects as Sykes hits the deck and gets back up. Webster has it taken away by Carlos Crespo. He drops it between his legs to Webb for three, no good off the heel. Lofton had it and then had it poked away. Crespo collects. Kicked into the corner. Alvarez three is good. 28-21. They lead it by a touchdown.
Yeah, that's the second three. It's putting the gas on.
Sykes left all alone down the floor and goes for two high off the window. 28-23. And the Gorlocks needed some points on that trip as Griffin turns and shoots over Carl Moore Jr. and hits.
That area right there in that 2-3, that free throw line area is just wide open.
Carl Moore throws it all the way down the floor to Sykes, again left all alone. He's able to track it down, lets everybody else come down the floor with him. Moore steps through one, absorbs some contact, gets the bucket and one.
Yeah, Moore's really good at that. He actually created the contact to get the foul. Moore's such a factor, I thought, Tyler, in that win yesterday. Late, the last 5 minutes, he came in and blocked 3 or 4 shots and just played extremely well down the stretch. And I think he was the key in getting Webster to that 7 to 10 point margin. They ended up winning going away, and I thought Moore was a trigger to that.
He had 8 points and 9 rebounds last night, and that doesn't, as Doug just explained, lay out all that he did for his team. Tully in the corner hits, picks up where he left off last night.
Yeah, that 3-point shot is so critical for this team. Right now, Webster's doing a great job breaking the press.
They really are, as Davis was able to get it to Carl Moore, and he can't hit. Shot may have been affected by a couple of defenders, namely Patrick. Loose ball falls to Tully. He gives it up to Malik Johnson, who finds Goad. Tully works around one, pulls up from three, no good off the front of the rim. Skying in there was Acevedo. He's come away with the offensive board. Johnson spins out a one, could have walked 3 times and over, and they do get the whistle. So it turned it over back to the Gorlocks. 9:36 to play.
It is so difficult, Tyler, to be an official in a game, and especially like this one. Both teams playing extremely hard. There's no way for them to call every foul. There's just not going to be a way to do that. So it's going to have an impact in the game, but the players are going to have to play through what the officials are able to call. It's just a part of the game when you play this style.
Yeah, and we're used to it, Doug, that this, to your point, this style lends a little more physicality just with the pace. Up and down the floor, you're going to get players that are tired and playing maybe a little bit out of position or trying to slap at things versus maybe working defensive position. So you're absolutely right, and we'll see how it bears out across the course of this game.
If you were to watch that last play with Williams, I thought he might have been fouled a couple of times. And if this was a half-court game and that's all that it was, I think they would have called that.
Yeah, probably.
Williams also, he also traveled. But, that's what they end up calling because there's just so much activity and physicality that's constant. And the Panthers are picking up steals by playing physical. And so it's just the nature of the game here. Webster has 9 turnovers, and the Panthers have scored 17 points off of those turnovers. The reason the Panthers have this 8-point cushion right now is because they've hit, their last 3 3-pointers. They're 3 of 9 now.
Gorlocks trying to break the press and going to get a foul on Malik Johnson. Schaefer has come into the game, and he was the one who drew the foul.
There's another example of what I was talking about. It was physical in both ways. And, as you watched Schaefer was trying to protect the ball. He was trying to stay in his area, but he also had his elbows up. And so when you're watching it and looking at it, could that go either way? It might.
Schaefer will come back down the floor for a 1-and-1. Isaiah Goad talking with one of our officials, too, trying to get an explanation. And he makes the front end, so it's 33-26. Greenville in front.
Both teams shooting 58%.
Wow.
So 10 of 17 for Webster, 14 of 24 for Greenville.
That one rimmed out. Patrick will get the rebound. Johnson cross court over to Acevedo. Picks up his dribble, bounce pass to Patrick. Now a good find to Malik Johnson sitting at the baseline who gets two. Good find there by Acevedo.
Yeah, really good look down near the baseline.
Tully's going to get a foul here.
Yeah. Tully's just a little bit late getting there.
Yeah, he falls down to the ground, hands outstretched. Me?
Yeah. And, that's the 8th foul on Greenville, so we're going to see a lot of free throws here the last second part of this first half.
Yeah.
Webster's cooled off a little bit from the line. They're 6 of 10 now.
Jalen Davis at the line, junior out of St. Louis, makes the front end. 35-27. Gets the second one to fall after it kisses off the top of the backboard.
Yeah, it almost hit the ceiling of the gym and then came down.
Goad. It's Acevedo for the Panthers. They lead it by 7.
This almost looks like a 1-2-2 zone.
Yeah.
A little bit of a different variance, I think, of what they tried here early.
Patrick gets two, another trap in the corner off the inbound as Hugo able to keep the pivot, worked up the floor by Reed to Schaefer, who collects, hesitates, gets Tully off his feet, and will take 2 points too. 37-30. Kicked corner or wing three, no good from Malik Johnson. And immediately the press put on after the miss. Davis up the floor, tried to get Reed. Pass was too far out in front into too much traffic. Johnson up to Patrick, off the glass for 2.
Yeah, Greenville has a lot of energy right now.
And Acevedo gets a hand on it, but Hugo able to keep the possession, drops it to Schaefer, and Panther hits the deck. Schaefer gets 2. And we get a whistle.
It's a 4-on-1 break there, and what do we got? Why are the officials confused about the timeout?
Well, we got a whistle, and I don't even know if there was a real stoppage in the play there. They get the subs in.
Well, we have no idea what the whistle was there. That's very odd. Play on. No timeouts.
Panthers lead it by 7. Patrick reverse gets it to go. He had Hugo on his hip.
Patrick really doing a nice job.
Rodriguez with the steal, gives it to Patrick. His shot's blocked. Gets it back, hesitates. He's fouled and 1.
He's having a field day right now. He has 14 points. He's 7 of 8 from the field. I mean, he is just playing some magnificent basketball. One thing that might be overlooked in this is it's what he's doing in the press.
Yeah.
And that's leading to about half of his points. But he's doing such a great job. He's the lead front guy most of the time on the press. You'll see him on your screen down near the baseline, and he's just doing a great job with that initial trap that's so key in this defense.
He makes the extra. 12-point Greenville lead. Up the floor, McCrary collects. Working through traffic, kicks in the corner. 3 on its way is good. Big 3 there from Davis, brings it back to 9. Spinning, Grimmett Glenn puts up a shot, no good. Carmore Jr. and the Gorlocks step out of bounds along the baseline, turn it back over.
I know Webster, wants to play at Greenville's pace to a degree. We talked about that. They average 73 points a game, but they've been scoring over 100. But tonight I feel like they're really trying to play fairly fast pace.
Patrick collects, hesitates, tried to work it out to Rodriguez. Gorlock's got a hand on it. That was Diallo. He comes away with it. Skies for a 2-hand jam. Takes a hard fall back down to the floor. Looks all right. Patrick tried to get the oop from Rodriguez, and it goes right through his hands. A little too hot to handle. Turn it over to the Panthers. They'll go for some changes, and the Gorlocks will take the possession.
7:09 to go, Tyler. 44-37. Wow, has this been a good one?
Fun first half so far. Invite everyone to stick around at halftime. Expect to have the commissioner again. And Griffin almost comes away with a steal. Goes just off his fingertips.
He pointed towards Greenville, right?
Yeah, he's sticking with it.
Okay.
Oh, and now he changes it. Yeah, he just had the direction.
Okay, so I think maybe he was saying Webster ball, but pointing towards Greenville, and I think that's what he was doing, which was really confusing people because he did it 3 straight times. He pointed towards Greenville.
Well, he was right to be secure in the call, just not the signal. Either way, it'll stay with the Gorlocks, and they've got 21 to shoot. Cross away to Hibbert. Diallo able to collect after it goes in and out of his hands. Good quick passing. 3 on its way. David, check that, Hibbert.
That's Hibbert. Yeah, Webster shooting the 3 well here.
44-40. Webster on a run. Alvarez puts up a 3. It's good. A big answer there at the other end by the Panthers to get it back to 7. The Gorlocks feeling it a little bit now. Up to Diallo. Wow, what a hand to keep it in play by Diallo. It finds Sykes. He goes up and he's fouled.
Yeah, Alvarez thought he had all ball there. I don't know if he did, but Webster having some luck with the long pass against this press, just kind of throwing over the top of it.
Taim Como making his way to the free throw area.
Webster's only taken 2 threes, and they've hit both of them. They're shooting 100% from 3. Greenville's taken 11 threes. They've hit 4 for 36%. Webster from the line now is 8 of 13 after that miss. That's actually helping Greenville. Greenville's only taken 4 free throws here in this first half.
Sykes has his second upcoming. On its way, and good. So a 6-point Greenville lead as the Gorlocks have turned it on a little bit here. Down by 11. Got it to 4. Alvarez runner, no good. Rebound tipped to Reed. Now worked up the floor quickly.
Good pass by Sykes.
Finds Diallo, his shot off the mark. Get a whistle and a foul on the Panthers.
And Sykes is an underrated passer. I mean, he sees the floor. He makes a lot of passes that aren't necessarily direct assist, but because of what he sees on the floor, his pass may lead to another pass. He just sees it very, very well, and he sees it early.
Get whistles here, and Panthers a little quick, I think, to go to the change. And now we'll get Diallo heading to the line. His first. Can't get it to go.
It's just not very easy to be a team that had to play last night like Webster did in a slow, methodical game, and then turn it over in about 24 hours and play completely opposite. I think it says a lot about Webster's players, how talented they are, how they're able to make the adjustment, and obviously it says something about the Webster coaching staff as well.
It's just going to say it's a good program over there. Panther fans know that. Of course, you Gorlock fans know that as well. Grimmick Glenn drives. He's fouled on the way up as he tucked ball in that left arm, and with exactly 6 minutes left to play on the clock here in the gym, we'll have some free throws upcoming.
That's the 6th foul on Webster.
And Taim Como has 3 fouls here for the Panthers in the first half, 6 minutes to play. Not a huge deal. The Panthers will go about 14 deep as the first is good from Glenn. And Coach Barber likes to, don't necessarily say roll the dice, but allows his players to play free even with the fouls, which is sure as a player nice to have, although just don't pick up that next one. As Glenn goes 2 for 2, 49-42 is the Greenville lead in the Gorlocks, and Carl Moore Jr. will inbound. Patrick to defend.
Yeah, Patrick doing some coaching out there on the court, and Webster continues to try to just throw over the top from the baseline.
Yeah, and everybody was in this front half of the court there. Shot was blocked, falls to Patrick, kicks to Rodriguez, his three from the point, no good. Rebound to Kiari Patrick, kicks out. Grimmett Glenn, his three no good off the front of the rim. Ball being tipped around, finds Vincent Rodriguez of Greenville. Pulls it back out, slows, finds Glenn, dribbles between his legs. Had it knocked away, gets it back. 10 to shoot, turns, puts it up, no good. Patrick got a hand on it. Rebound finds the Gorlocks. Luster up the floor, kicked in the corner, hesitation there by Hibbert. Back to Luster, his three rimmed out, no good. Taj Como.
Nice rebound by Como.
Gets it out to Glenn, who's being harassed by Hibbert. Hibbert almost came away with a steal. Patrick drives, had it knocked away by Luster. He gets it back, though, kicks to Rodriguez, who fakes, drives, tried Carl Moore Jr., who sent it away. Stays with the Panthers, however. Finds Rodriguez again, and that's a three.
Yeah, we talked about that last night. Rodriguez shooting the three much better, and it's made Greenville a different team.
10-point Panther lead here, under 5 to play in the first half. Taj Como comes away with another steal to Rodriguez. Steps into a three in transition, no good. Diallo tracks down the board, up to Sykes. Playing 4-on-4, or 2-on-2 rather, down at the other end. Loose ball being gathered by Sykes. Should be a foul here.
Yeah, it's going to be a foul, I believe, on Glenn, isn't it? Glenn just dove right up on top of him.
And Vincent Rodriguez stays down. Sykes
Vincent
stays down.
Yeah.
And now Sykes being helped up.
Players just all over the floor showing great hustle.
And they are going to get Glenn with the foul. So it's good eye there, Doug, with 4:26 to play. And looks like we'll get a timeout on the floor. 4:26 to play. 52-42. Fun first half. And still plenty of time to work with.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious right now what the adjustment is for Greenville on the long pass. Webster's taking it out, and they're basically throwing it to half court from out of bounds and having a lot of success with it. Greenville made a few adjustments here the last two possessions, but overall, that's how Webster's been beating the press, and they've done it with some success. Webster does have 14 turnovers compared to Greenville's 7. Webster's 2 of 3 from 3. They're 15 of 23 from the field, shooting 65%. Greenville's 21 of 41 for 51%. I think one of the things, Tyler, that's fun about this game is both teams are really, this is a championship game, and both teams are playing like everything's on the line.
Absolutely. Wouldn't expect anything else here in the SLIAC championship game. And what's at stake for both teams? Both teams looking for their 4th tournament championship. For the Gorlocks, it'd be their first since 2020. For the Panthers, their first since 2018. So a drought is going to end here tonight for one school. And, got about 24 minutes and 26 seconds to figure out who that will be. And a fun first half again. I want to remind everyone, stick around. We expect the Commissioner, Dick Kaiser, to come up and have a conversation at the halftime break. And then I'm sure he'll be sick and tired of talking to me throughout the weekend. And we can let him enjoy the spring schedule, as the first is good from Sykes.
That gives him 6 points on the evening, and he's 2 of 3 from the free throw line.
Next to Strong, and Webb comes away with the rebound. Tough board there from Webb. trying to work around one, lost a handle, able to save it in with the left hand, finds Crespo. Wow. Alvarez gives it right back to Webb. Took the long way home, fading away. It's the shot high off the glass.
Yeah, that was a nice play. Turnaround jump shot. He knew he had to go high to get it over a Gorlock, and he was able to do it.
Hugo at the other end gets 2. See if the Gorlocks can't utilize Hugo a little bit more with that size. And going to get a foul here on the Gorlocks.
Webster matching up man-to-man there. That's one of the few times we've seen that during this game. And a good play there by Griffin. He spotted that. He had the matchup, took it straight to the hole, and drew the foul. Good job by Griffin to notice that.
Luster committed the foul. Front end of the 1-and-1, no good. Diallo was there, but it went out of bounds off of him. So the Panthers with 20 to shoot will inbound at the baseline. Sykes will defend Griffin on the inbound. Gets it to Crespo, fakes, then goes up with the left to drop balls.
Nice left hand there by Crespo.
Approaching 3.5 minutes to play in the first 20. Another trap here on the inbounds. Hibbert able to get it up to Hugo, who finds Sykes and gets 2 off the glass. 9-point Greenville lead. Crespo took some contact, able to keep the pivot and gets 2.
We'll see how long Webster sticks with their man-to-man because Greenville's taking them. And now we're going to get a foul, I believe, on Crespo.
Yeah, that'll be his second.
And every foul, Tyler and I have talked about this, is 2 free throws. And Webster, to give you an idea how this impacts the game, Webster's taken 18 free throws here in the first half with 3 minutes to go, and Greenville's taken 7. Greenville's 5 of 7, and Webster's 11 of 18.
First is good from Hibbert. Jonah Hibbert, sophomore out of Decatur, Georgia.
For the season, Webster shoots about 65%. They're shooting 63% here in the first half.
Davis will check into the game for Sykes.
Webster's done a nice job, in my opinion, on the substitution. They're keeping their guys fresh, and there seems to be a consistency to it. Of course, Greenville is, they're like clockwork, so it's just automatic for them.
Carl Moore Jr. back into the game as well. Looks like Burrows awaits the shooter Hibbert, but he can't connect. Stays a 10-point Greenville lead. Acevedo.
Yeah, and I think you've seen now. See Webster back in the zone.
Try to get Johnson on the baseline. 2 out to handle.
It's a good look there because Johnson was open on the baseline. Patrick saying, hey, that's my fault.
This is a great idea. Good find.
You can see right now on your screen, look at where Webster's lining up, almost at half court.
Burrows has it knocked out of his hands and will go to the Panthers.
Yeah, that first trap is so critical. If you get a good first trap, it changes everything.
And the Panthers so good, especially in the corner. Patrick has it knocked away, keeps it in play. Gives it up to Goad, wing 3, no good. Patrick tips it up to himself and gets the board. Over to Acevedo, cross-court pass. Drops it back to Patrick, loses the handle, flips it to Goad. His shot was blocked by Diallo.
Nice outlet by Moore there.
And now Moore collects. Patrick knocks it away. Collected by Moore. Now being double-teamed by Tully and Patrick. Diallo. He's fouled on his way up. Go to the line for 2. Alpha Diallo, senior out of Atlanta.
Nice job in there by Malik Johnson on the line there. There was some words being said between Diallo and Acevedo. Kind of bumped into one another, and Johnson tried to play peacemaker. Good for him. I think he might have got the job done. Let's send him to government.
Yeah. Need all the help we can get there, right? Approaching 2 minutes left to play here in this first half. Tully to Acevedo, swung around the perimeter to Goad. Tully left open, wing three, no good off the front of the rim. Johnson got a hand on it, and he was the last to touch it out of bounds. Back to the Gorlocks, they trail by 9. 2:02 to play in the half.
Well, if you're Greenville, that's the shot you wanted, right? You wanted Tully with an open three, and he had a good look there.
Moore to inbound. Up to Burrows. Tried to get Reed. Patrick had it, saved it, and it was off of Diallo. And judging by the reaction, I believe the signal went the other way.
And I don't think the official on the far side saw it. Patrick saved it. From here, it looked like it went off Webster. And maybe it didn't. I don't know what you saw, Tyler.
Well, unless maybe they're saying when Patrick went to save it, he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that was a signal.
They didn't point to that initially, but you could be right. Absolutely.
Either way, the Gorlocks will retain the possession. And we're going to get a foul on Williams.
Yeah.
Before the ball is put into play.
Just been a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit chippy here late.
Yeah, you would think it might be best for both teams just to get to the locker room for the break and kind of regroup. It's been a fun first half, certainly.
Yeah.
But you don't want emotions to get out of order here in the first 20 minutes. Well, you don't want it at all.
Webster now shot 23 free throws, 13 of 23.
Yeah, got to improve that mark. Patrick finds Como, had it knocked away. He regroups, fading away, gets it to go. Wow, tough shot there for Taj Como.
So there's the long pass.
Diallo collects, allows Como to come back. Diallo with a tough finish, gets the roll.
Yeah, Greenville's going to have to find an answer for the Webster press breaker.
Glenn's three from deep off the wing, no good. Quickly to Diallo, two-hand jam. 6 points.
Webster's just able to get the ball out.
You mentioned it, so good at breaking the press tonight. They've had their struggles, certainly, but when they've needed to, they've broken it. And how about that? Como, shooter's touch, bounce off the rim and then in.
Yeah, Taj with the touch. And Greenville's just matching up man to man and then going and trapping. And Webster's doing a good job. They're drawing fouls and they're really going at a high pace against the press. That's what Greenville wants. But Greenville may have to adjust just a little bit on how they're defending the scheme of Webster.
That's Williams' third foul. And he and Taim Como, each with 3 for Greenville. This is the first from Davis is good. So it's been a good response here in this first half by the Gorlocks, trailed by as many as 11, have kept it within that 10-point bubble.
That's exactly right.
And that's all you can ask for, as we've mentioned a couple times. Quick turnaround for both teams, but for a team not used to this style, pace, feels like a much quicker turnaround, I'm sure. As Davis goes 2 for 2. It's a 6-point Greenville lead.
Webster now up to shooting 26 free throws in this first half.
Rodriguez bounce pass to Glenn in the corner. Fakes a pass down low and finds Rodriguez. Trying to create some space, gives it up to Glenn. 15 to shoot, dribbles through traffic. Kicked into the wing. Shot from Bennett, no good. Out of bounds to the Gorlocks. 23 to shoot. We'll see if they slow it down and don't play for the final shot, if they can.
Greenville struggled a little bit against the 2-3 zone. You know, Webster went man-to-man, then quickly went out of it. I thought I noticed Chris Bunch talking to his assistants when they went man-to-man.
Gets it into Hugo. Does Luster. Tried to get Reed. Rodriguez is there. Ball being battled for on the floor. Should be a tie-up. It is. And possession arrow to Greenville.
Good job by Vincent Rodriguez. Good hustle there. Do we have a Yeah, it's just going to
Should
be
be a
Greenville ball.
Yeah.
Underneath their basket. 17 seconds here.
See what the Panthers don't or want to do. They don't like to typically slow things down. Let's see if that changes with 17 seconds left. But I think I said something along those lines throughout the year with maybe less time. And Coach Barber says, I'll prove you wrong.
Well, I mean, in one sense, Tyler, we've definitely seen it at the end of games.
Yeah.
I mean, Greenville slowed it down with about 2 minutes to go.
Last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and I kind of looked at each other like,
Yep.
oh, wow, 2 minutes left. It's just the oddity of this system. Como collects. Taj Como off the inbound to Rodriguez. Drives, trying to go over. You go. And the scoop shot goes off the window and in. Bennett gets a hand on it. Rodriguez picks it up. Got to get a shot off. Puts it up. No good. Wide left. So at the end of the first half, the Panthers lead the Gorloks 64-56. What a fun first half that was.
Oh, it was a great first half. I think a couple of the keys here as we look at some of the numbers. Webster has taken 26 free throws. And that's a really critical piece of information. Greenville got into the double bonus. Webster got into the double bonus because Greenville put them there. One of the benefits to Greenville is that Webster shooting 61% from the free throw line, probably not quite as good as they would like. Webster's consequently only taken 27 shots from the field, and Greenville has taken 52. So there's where the balance starts to take place. But I do think we got a battle on our hands on how Greenville is going to match up against Webster's scheme against their press. I think that's going to be interesting to watch here coming up in the second half, Tyler.
We'll step aside for the halftime break as you're watching SLIAC TV. We're in the middle of halftime here at H.J. Long Gymnasium on the campus of Greenville University for our men's basketball championship game between the Greenville Panthers and the Webster University Gorloks. Panthers lead at 64-56 at the break. Tyler Rosen alongside you, joined again by special guest SLIAC Commissioner Dick Kaiser. Dick, it's You got a half left in a very, very busy week and weekend, and Saturday, to say the very least. You've been all over the area today. And you're crowning champions, which is at least the fun part about it. You'll worry about the drive when you regroup on sleep. But you saw a pretty fun one up in Fulton today.
Yeah, I wasn't at Fulton, but it was a classic game. Kudos to Coach Rowe from Principia. They just hung around, and it's one of those games that you hang around, and you might get lucky, and/or preparation makes good luck. I understand that, but from what I understand, the final shot was just a scramble for a loose ball. Girl threw it down the floor. Principia girl raced it in, grabbed it, and shot it at the buzzer.
Yeah, and
it goes through, and that's the ball game.
It was ended up catching it live before getting over to the gym here, and it was pretty much how you draw it up if you're Principia in as far as Cinderella finishes, and I'm sure it was simultaneously the easiest and most difficult layup that young lady's ever had to make in her career. But congratulations to Principia. They won the women's basketball championship up in Fulton earlier today. Got the commissioner with me, Dick. It's been such a fun weekend. I was here last night, was out in Fulton on Thursday again, obviously back here tonight. And congratulations to your conference, all of your staff, your member schools. It's been such a great weekend of events.
Well, thank you very much. It takes a lot of really good coaches, a lot of help from all the schools that are participating and or hosts, so that's been awesome. Let's talk just a little bit. So Principia, for those people that don't understand it, Principia gets what's called an automatic qualifier, which means they will be automatically in the NCAA tournament. And then in Division III, they use what's called MPI. And MPI is a rating for those basketball fans that have been around a long time. It's a little bit of a takeoff of the RPI.
Yep.
And the MPI tells the NCAA who will the next teams be. So the field is 64 teams. There are 42 automatic qualifiers. So that means there's 22 teams that can get at-larges. Going into the weekend, Webster was 41.
Okay.
Now, losing to Principia, they'll probably drop a little bit because Principia's RPI was much lower. But they'll might have a chance.
Right.
It just all depends on how many upsets, because every time there's an upset, much like in the big dance, that takes away somebody that's an automatic, somebody higher rated. Mm-hmm. And every time you lose a team like Webster that's been very high rated, they got to hope they hang in and get in the top 22 after they take all the automatic qualifiers out of the top 64, and then they just place it in. And it's not a conversation anymore. It's all on the numbers. And I don't think we'll know. Well, we won't know for sure until Sunday evening, because the California Division III League is not playing till Sunday afternoon championship games. And so they have to play, and then they have to be put into the field. And so you just never know how it's going to shake out. I'm sure Webster University and Coach Olafson will be trying to figure out all the who's do's and the what do's and all that kind of stuff. But the bottom line is we could potentially get 2 in. But for sure, Coach Ramirez and the Principia Panthers are on their way to the NCAA tournament. First time ever.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Again, just as the 4 seed, they beat Westminster and then beat Webster on their way to a conference championship. So congratulations to them. It won't be so much of nervy moments for them until the selection show, but certainly for Coach Olafson and his squad, it'll feel like an eternity until they figure out if not in the dance. But we still got 20 minutes of action here to settle one more champion, and Greenville's been the number 1 seed playing host here, and it was a fun first half. What did you think of it?
I thought Webster, came out, and it takes a little while to adjust to the tempo and the speed. And just like Eureka did last night against the Panthers, Webster gave up 2 quick baskets before they could blink. I mean, they were up 4-0 just like that. But then they finally started to adjust. Webster is only down 8 points. If you take a look at what has been happening at the free throw line, that's where they're being hurt right now, because they got Greenville into some foul trouble fairly early, and the bottom line is that they've already missed 10 free throws.
Yeah.
8-point difference. Now, no team shoots at that 100%, but if you make half of those, now we're talking about a four-point game, and it'd be a much closer game. So they got to make free throws. As far as Greenville goes, they got enough depth. They can just keep running those kids in. So fouls are not really an issue for them. They'll just keep bringing player after player after player. And George does a really nice job of rotating those kids through. I think he's got 3 groups that rotate through.
Yeah, he's got 2 main groups, and then he'll sub in that third every couple rotations, and he likes to go about 14 deep, and it's kind of unheard of in modern basketball.
Absolutely. And, they're each getting about 20 minutes of playing time a game or something to that effect.
Right.
He calls it the system. That's what he calls it. And good for him. It's an old takeoff on the old Grinnell system, but it's a little bit of a modified type of situation. Yeah. They do play very aggressive defense. They're hands all the time and getting after you, and kudos to them. I can't imagine what their practices are like.
Oh, man.
Because if I know Georgia and they're playing each other, how they come out without killing each other, who knows?
Yeah, you might not even need a ball for those practices. Just have them run up and down the floor, not even as punishment.
Hey, before we lose time, I just want to also shout out to Greenville University's women track team. Won convincingly today. I had to leave before the men's, and it was close. Both Webster and Greenville were in the hunt for the championship, so I don't know exactly who won that. I will try to find out. But, again, kudos to all the track and field. We had close to 50 more student athletes participating in the indoor meet than we had a year ago. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so the meet was exciting. It went fast. It even had a little quirk. In the very first relay, in the distance medley relay, the official counted wrong, and they ran 1 lap too short. So they have to go back, and they had to run that race again at the end of the the end of the thing. So, long story short, it's a good day for the SLIAC. This week in February is always very interesting.
Yeah.
Because you start on basketball on Tuesday, and you go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all in a row, and this is everything for these young men and women, and they play so hard. I'm very proud to be the commissioner of the SLIAC, very proud of the coaches and the class they show. After this particular event, we will do an awards ceremony, and there'll be some very deserving young men get the all-conference awards and the players of the game and all that kind of stuff.
And we'll tell everyone now, we will have the awards here post-game. We'll keep the headsets on and the camera going, so we will have that live for you here. We'll let the commish go. Commish, you want to talk again in the spring?
We'll talk again in the spring for sure. How about the numbers from last night's games? My goodness.
Unbelievable.
Of the 4 games we had already played going into today, we'd already had, 6,400 views?
Yeah, it's incredible. The support that your schools and your conference gets. We're such a small part of all of this, and we're happy to be a part of it. But those numbers and the viewers are great, and speaks to the quality of play in your conference.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We love being partners with you guys, and it's been a win-win for both of us, and we appreciate it.
Absolutely. That's the Commissioner, Dick Kaiser. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll bring you the second half of the men's basketball championship here at Greenville University. Welcome back to H.J. Long Gymnasium. Tyler Rose and Doug Faulkner alongside you. We've got 20 minutes on the clock here for the second half of this SLIAC Men's Basketball Championship game. It was a fun first half, and we want to thank the Commissioner, Dick Kaiser, again for taking some time and talking with me again at the half. He's, again, probably sick and tired of talking to me throughout the weekend, but always good to chat and get the happenings on the conference. And talked about an exciting women's championship game today between Principia and Webster that came down to literally the final second. He talked about the track championships. Greenville University women's team was the winner. He could not confirm the winner of the men's indoor track tournament as the commission had to scoot on out of town and get on over here for this men's basketball championship. So tune in to the SLIAC website and see who may have won on the men's side. But we're underway here in this second half. We will determine a champion, and someone's going to be heading to the NCAA tournament in just about 20 minutes of game time. Luster tried to find Diallo in and out of his hands. He saves it, and then it was last touched by Patrick. Go out of bounds and stay with the Gorlocks, 15 to shoot. Fun first half, high scoring clearly. And Webster has done a nice job adjusting to this pace. Certainly not unfamiliar with it, but still, it takes some time. In the corner, three from Hibbard is good.
Nice pass from Moore, cross-court pass.
Williams goes up and ball is sent out of bounds. No foul there, so it'll be an inbound under the basket. Inbound to Glenn. Finds Rodriguez. Drives. Leaves it for Patrick, who kicks to Williams. He goes into the paint. Drops it off for Patrick. His shot no good. Taj Como was there. Then Patrick tried to pick it up off the floor, and he had trouble. It's going to go out of bounds and stay with Greenville with 18 to shoot.
Greenville starting with a different group here in the second half than they did the first, Tyler. Remember, they went with that third group to start the game.
Yeah. Not something we see too often. And the Gorlocks have done a nice job at kind of countering the changes as Glenn puts up a deep three, no good off the inside part of the rim. Long rebound finds Hibbert. Push the floor, try to get Luster. Loose ball finds its way to Diallo, who puts it up and in for two. Quick start to the half here by the Gorlocks. They trail by 3.
And they're slowing Greenville down right here.
Turning, facing the basket, and hitting on that shot was Taj Como.
And that's the area that's open. I mean, we've talked about it. You know, that's where Greenville's going to have to go.
Diallo brings it across the timeline, collects the pass in. Going to get a foul on the floor and a reach on Rodriguez, I believe.
That's kind of an odd call there. I mean, I guess I couldn't see it from here, but.
And that is Rodriguez. That's his first.
I guess they got him going by him.
Yeah.
Maybe he slapped him on the way by.
So an inbound under the basket is Hibbert. Defended by Alvarez. Got to get it in. He does into Carl Moore Jr. in the corner. He's trapped, but able to get it up to Luster.
Nice job by Moore again.
Yeah, wow. Luster drives through traffic and gets 2.
Moore 2 times in a row making a cross-court pass that leads to a bucket.
Great vision on the floor for him. Crespo drives. Pass along the baseline, trying to get to Como. And out of bounds to stay with Greenville, 20 to shoot. 18-19 to play here in the second half.
I usually say first 5 minutes, of each half. I'm not sure that applies to this style, but.
Runner no good from Crespo. And that one's thrown out of bounds. It'll go back to Greenville. And I think you're right there, Doug. As we've mentioned throughout the year, even a 12-point lead with 6 minutes or even 15 with 5 minutes doesn't seem safe with this style of play. So Taim Como collects the inbounds. Tried to drive baseline and then kick to Crespo. Gorlock's got a hand in the passing lane and come away with the possession as Sykes works around Crespo and then Alvarez. Hibbert fakes.
Good ball movement by Webster.
They're so decisive and quick with these passes. As Hibbert Works it down to Diallo. He's going to have to pull it back out. 12 to shoot. Hibbert trying to work around one. Finds Sykes, who gets it right back to Hibbert. Three is good.
That's just really good ball movement by their team right there. You can see the 2-3 right there. They've taken the opposite wing and tried to play him in the middle defensively, and it's taken away from that opening at the free throw line we've been talking about.
Corner three from Griffin was no good. Comes Diallo back at the other end, finds Sykes. Moore collects a pass in stride, shot no good. Defended nicely there by Taim Como. Webb lost the handle, still finds its way to Como, who picks it up. Carl Moore knocks it away, finds Griffin, who dribble drives, pulls up and hits.
Nice controlled jump shot there by Griffin. Good, strong 2 dribbles and then straight up. Kept himself in control.
68-66, Panthers in front. Alvarez steps in front, comes up with a steal. Leaves it back for Griffin. His three is good.
Yeah, Griffin is balanced right now. One of the Webster players looked like he was calling a timeout. I don't know if he was signaling to his coach to do that or not.
All of a sudden, back out to 5. Long home run pass up to Hibbert. Stops, and Taim Como sends that shot out of bounds as Hibbert stopped, hesitated, and then went up. Shot was sent out.
Well, it's a great block, but the story of that is Como sprinting down and getting in position where he could block the shot. That's the story. He had to go the length of the floor there in a dead sprint to get there.
16:21 to play here in the second half. Greenville on top by 5. Hugo. An offensive foul. Rodriguez steps in front.
Yeah, back and forth we go on the momentum runs. But watch your screen here on this 2-3. It may be a little bit of a, and see if they don't cover. See how they're covering the middle there a little bit? They went right into Patrick, but he was guarded in there.
Patrick gets it back, shuffled the feet, and walked.
They've tried to take whoever's the opposite guard, and they're dropping him into the middle, which I think is smart because you're just trying to keep Greenville out on the perimeter as much as you can.
McCrary collects the inbounds pass, tosses it up to Diallo. Hits Reed in stride, doesn't put the ball on the floor, and can't finish at the rim. Taj Como trying to collect the ball in, finds Williams, hesitates, then goes up and in for 2.
Nice job by Como. He just got it out quickly on the dribble. I know he's not exactly Curly Neal out there, but he was able to keep in control enough to make a pass.
Then comes up with a block at the other end. Sykes is there for the rebound, and he's fouled, so he'll go to the line for 2. 15:35 to play.
Greenville may have to come up with an adjustment against the 2-3. Let's see if they can adjust there against Webster's 2-3 is what I'm referring to.
First is no good, left it short, did Sykes.
Webster hit right at 61% from the free throw line. They may have to shoot a tad better. They're at 59%. 17 of 28, I think, right now.
Second is good, 73-67. Greenville in front over Webster.
See how they're guarding that middle area is now clogged. They went to it, but they went to it late with a different movement.
Williams, corner 3, went over everything. Rebound to Reed, and Diallo and him play a little bit of catch. Hugo drops down, lowered the shoulder, got space on Como, but Como knocks it away.
Nice
Williams
catch.
Went up and over, collected in that pass and was fouled.
Como's had a nice little run here, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Both Taim and Taj as of late. Of course, brothers Como out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
So they did call a foul on that.
Yeah, they're going to get Sykes, and that's his third.
Well, that's a big call with 15 minutes to go. I mean, he's the glue in my opinion.
Yeah, he's a big piece. Inbound to Taj Como. from Rodriguez, and floater was no good, and Patrick, I believe, stepped out of bounds.
You can see Webster's alignment. See, it's 4 across. And they try to go quick right out of the gate. Nice job by Como again.
Falls back to the Gorlocks. Luster's shot no good, affected by Glenn standing in front. Rodriguez behind the back drop to Patrick. His shot no good, but he was fouled the first go-round, so he'll shoot 2.
And he's holding his arm there, I think. Yeah, one of his fingers. Might be his groin.
Yeah, may have
if
taken an unfortunate
stretched
shot.
it, yeah.
He seems to be smiling about it a little bit. I'll let you infer from there. And with 14:46, we get a media timeout. And, Doug, second half picking up where the first half left off as far as a fun back-and-forth basketball game.
Yeah, Webster's very interesting stats. I know you may get tired of hearing me say this. They've shot 28 free throws, and Greenville shot 7. And usually that spells disaster. But on the other side of things, Greenville has taken 62 shots from the field, and Webster's only taken 36. So that's kind of where it evens out a little bit. Greenville's going to have to shoot the 3 a little bit better. They're 6 of 23. They're only shooting 26% from 3. When they've pushed the lead out to get a double-digit lead here and there, maybe the biggest lead they've had, if they had a lead bigger than 12.
His biggest lead was 12 for the Panthers,
yeah.
So that's about it.
And when they've done that because they've hit 2 or 3 threes in a row, but they've only hit 6 for the game. On the other hand, Webster doesn't take many, but if you're going to hit every one of them, I mean, they're 4 of 5, that makes a huge difference.
Well, both teams making their way back out onto the floor. We'll have changes upcoming here for the Panthers. 73-67 as Patrick will be at the line. And they're going to have to move Taj Como to the right spot. They do now. And Patrick at the line. Makes the first. It's a 7-point Greenville lead.
It's only the 8th free throw shot by the Panthers. They're 6 of 8. Patrick had an excellent first half. He had, let me check it, he had 17 points in the first half.
Makes both. Going to be subbed out for Crespo. Crespo, Alvarez, Lofton, Webb, and Griffin for Greenville. Inbound into Davis. Gets it right back to Moore. He'll try himself to push up the floor. Now does give it up to Davis, and going to get a block before that ball was sent out of bounds.
Alvarez, I think.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no, they're going to get Griffin.
Okay. Webster's using Moore really well. He's inbounding the ball. He's their big. And then against the press, he's like the first guy they throw back to. We've already talked about his ability to see the floor, and he's hurting the Panthers in their press.
Davis, 3 from the wing is good. Yeah, 5-point game.
They're 5 of 6 from 3.
Alvarez. Defended by McCrary. Gives it to Crespo, drops it baseline. Now worked out to Griffin. 3 from the corner is good, and a big answer there. Pushes it back to 8. Griffin gets in front of that, comes away with the steal, and he stepped out of bounds.
He's playing with a lot of energy and a lot of focus. I like his shooting, and the reason I do is he's putting his feet underneath him, and he's shooting a balanced shot.
14:05 to play. Inbound just in front of the edge of the Panthers bench. Moore to do the inbound. And we'll just throw it out of bounds. Turns it over back to Greenville.
Such a tough place to take it out of bounds. You and I have spoken about that. Moore didn't have a lot of great options.
We'll put 20 seconds on the shot clock for Greenville, as Griffin will do the inbounding for the Panthers. Just tosses it right to Alvarez, and our referee on the sideline had to get his arm out of the way. Griffin tried to go cross court. Pass was picked off by Reed, who played the baseline well there. Davis collects, and pass was knocked around a couple of times. It goes out of bounds back to Greenville. Tried to get Luster streaking in through the paint.
I'm not totally surprised, but, you know, Webster's just going to go fast. I mean, they're really trying to actually go really fast against our press. They want to shoot after about their third pass.
Inbound goes to Crespo from Alvarez as they take their time coming up the floor. Might be the only time they do that. Griffin, defended by Davis, gives it to Alvarez. They play catch. Griffin dribbles, pulls up off the free throw line. Shot no good. Ball being tipped around. Lofton dives on the floor. He can't come up with it. Diallo does, and he's fouled. 13:30 left to play. Unfortunate foul there for Lofton, is when he came back up off the floor, just found himself right in the lap of Diallo. Easy whistle for the official.
You know, one thing I think that's going to have to happen for the Panthers is Gerard Webb is going to have to get a little bit more involved offensively.
Patrick steps in front there, comes away with the steal! One-hand jam over Davis.
That brings everybody to their feet, and then Webster turns it over. Nice timeout by Chris Bunch.
Yeah, he wastes no time there.
Chris Bunch, and the Panthers are too excited. They're too excited. They got to corral them down here.
Good job by assistant coach Paul Merrifield getting over right at the midcourt.
Paul Merrifield maybe saving some things there. The ex-policeman doing his job really well. And Chris Bunch doing his job really well, because that slam by Patrick after he stole the ball, that the roof came off the place, and then it was followed by Webster throwing it into the stands.
Yeah.
And you thought this place was just going to come completely unglued, and Bunch, it called the timeout. He's down there really trying to make a point. I saw one of the markers fly up into the air after he was making a strong point to his team. They've got a clear philosophy against our press, and that is to attack it 100%. And they do it a lot with a long pass. Webster now, I was just going to check on turnovers. They have 29 turnovers.
It's a 10-point Greenville lead after the timeout. Mentioned it, but Chris Bunch wasting no time after the turnover. He felt the momentum sliding even more towards the Panthers, and we'll see if the timeout is effective. So it will be Panther basketball with Acevedo to inbound, that third group into the game here for Greenville. Pass will go into Goad. Tully, wing three, no good. Off the front of the rim. Diallo up to Moore. Good break again by Davis, and tried to do too much on that bounce pass, unlocking Hibbert. It was stolen. Goad over to Johnson. He drives through the lane. Floater no good. Tully gets a hand on it to knock it away. Flips to Patrick. Reverse, got it to go. Patrick with a tough finish. Good find and feed by Tully.
Yeah, Webster looks a little more hesitant here right now against the press.
Acevedo steps into a three from the point, left it short, and here comes Davis the other way with pace to Hibbert, slows, flips to Reed, and Reed gets two. There's that speed down the floor from the Gorlocks. Acevedo has it knocked out of his hands, and then it's out of bounds off the Gorlocks, and Davis, Coach Chris Bunch wants a foul there on Patrick. Could have had one the other way, and say it all works out the same for both teams.
Yeah, I think right there, those two possessions are an example of the officials have a difficult time sticking up and staying up with the style of play. And teams just have to play through it.
Yeah, crowd gets behind Rodriguez. Let's get changes here for the Panthers. Into the corner. Williams fakes, dribbles, gives it up to Glenn. His three, no good off the rim. Chiari Patrick, another board. His shot was sent away by Carl Moore Jr. And now they exchange some words. And Patrick's going to have a conversation with the official, one he certainly didn't want to have.
Yeah, the dunk by Patrick about a minute ago really kind of uncorked the crowd. And that's been a big change here with 12:06 to go. The crowd is a lot more into the game.
Yeah. Hugo will replace Moore. Up to Rodriguez. To Glenn. Fakes. Drop off pass to Patrick. Shot was no good, but he was fouled by Hugo.
Nice pass by Glenn there.
Yeah. Foul occurs with exactly 12 minutes to play.
Greenville 7 of 9 from the line. And Patrick steps to the line. So far, he's 3 of 3.
Makes the first.
Now 4 of 4. That's his 24th point, I believe.
Well, for Greenville, they have won 13 straight, and their last loss came on January the 11th. And I'll give you a guess as to who that was against.
I'm going to guess the Gorlocks.
It was, in fact, the Webster Gorlocks that was on the road and across the river back in St. Louis, as Patrick makes both.
Yeah, they lost 114-109.
Inbounds pass was tipped by Patrick, still falls to Hibbert, and he's double teamed, gets it up to Hugo, who then throws a fastball up to Sykes, who keeps it in play, gives it right back. Hugo bouncing through the paint, shot no good, but Diallo's there for the rebound, and his attempt is no good, but he's fouled.
Well, a nice little, Webster came out of the half and had a nice little run to tie it, and then Greenville's put on a little bit of a run here. Webster turning it over a little bit here in the last couple minutes that have kind of led to this Greenville run. Greenville has 31 points off of the turnovers from Webster. I mentioned earlier 29 turnovers. Check that. It's 28 right now.
First was good. Second is as well from Diallo. Back to a 10-point Panther lead. Gorlocks trying to break this 10-point bubble here in the second half. Rodriguez to Patrick, and Patrick with 2 off the glass. Back to 12, 11 and a half to play. Luster up to Hugo. Works around Como, hops through the lane and gets 2 points. Rodriguez hesitates, drives with a fake. Shot was no good. Diallo a tough board with Patrick right behind. Luster into the corner to Hibbert. Gives it right back on the bounce pass. 3 on its way is good.
Now Webster 6 of 7 from 3, and that's what's keeping them in the game. I mean, they're shooting at an 80% clip from 3.
Ball falls to Taj Como, who will go up and get 2, pushes it back to 9.
They typically shoot right around 31% from 3. Webster.
Ball into Luster, back to Diallo. Spins around 1, and then his pass is picked off by Rodriguez. Bounce pass with a little bit of English to Patrick, who gets the shooter's roll. 90-79. Panthers in front, 10 and a half to play. Inbound flipped up to Sykes. Looking to go coast to coast. He does and gets 2.
Some of that run could have been because Webster had Sykes on the bench with 3 fouls. I think he's, as you've heard me say, he really makes this team go.
Rodriguez deep 3, no good. Almost gets his own board. It was saved by Webster, but right to Chiari Patrick, who will take 2 easy ones off that.
Right now, Webster just not moving crisply. Check that, against this press. They're a little slow moving, and maybe they, you could argue maybe they're a little bit tired. I don't know, that has led to a few of those turnovers here in the last 2 to 3 minutes.
Get another media timeout with 9:58 to play. We mentioned Greenville carries a 13-game winning streak into this championship game. Last loss coming in mid-January to this Webster team. Well, for the Gorlocks, not quite as prolific of a run coming in, but they have won 5 of 7. And you know what? They got the virtue of playing the quarterfinal game to kind of build in a little bit of the momentum through the week. Play, night off, play. You don't get a night off the second time, but either way, you kind of just keep with seemingly a little bit of a normal flow.
Well, I think it'll be interesting to see here. I don't think Webster's going to be able to shoot 85% from 3.
Wouldn't think.
So I think they'll have to make that adjustment. Greenville, however, on the other hand, is going to have to start shooting the 3. They're 7 of 27. I don't think they can continue to shoot 25% because I just think the 3-point shot is going to play a factor here with about 10 minutes to go in this one. I think Webster needed this timeout if for no other reason than to catch a breather. I think they were kind of playing on their heels a little bit. They played a long stretch without Sykes. And he's just a really good passer. And I've talked about lots of times his really good pass leads to the next pass. And they've missed him.
You would think if the Gorlocks could get to the next media timeout with this at about 8 or under, you'd say game on for the final 5 minutes. But we'll see with 9:58 to play. Already having some trouble getting it in, but Lester does get it in. To Schaefer. Haven't seen him since the first half. Up to Sykes. Wow, good job by Sykes. Able to keep his momentum from taking him out and gets 2. 92-83, under 10 to play. Griffin collects, drives baseline. Over the head pass to Crespo. Drops it for Como. He's fouled. Get the bucket and 1.
Taj and Taim have really played a good game. They've been so instrumental in this press, working well for Coach Barber. Coach Barber really had to work hard early in the season to get this group to fully buy into the press. And I think he did about midway, and that's why he's on this 13-game winning streak. I think the team started to buy in to the press.
The extra was no good by Como. Gets his own board, goes back up, and he's fouled.
Yeah, those are just hustle plays right now. I think Greenville's winning those hustle plays as I watch Chris Bunch down there. I mean, I can read his body language down there saying, hey, we need to be able to get that rebound off that missed free throw.
Yeah. Como with a big breath. Puts up the shot, rolls it on in, 95-83.
Greenville shooting about 75% from the free throw line. Right now, 9 of 12. And Greenville's done a good job containing their fouls. They've only given up 6 fouls with 9:32 to go. In the first half, they were already giving Webster double bonus.
Como makes them both. Hibbert collects the inbound up to Sykes. Now Schaefer drives and got a little too close for comfort to flip it to Reed, and now we're going to get a jump ball.
If you were a coach and you wanted to teach defense on a 2-on-1 break and you're the defender, you're only one, that you want to watch how Crespo played that. That was brilliant by Crespo on the 2-on-1 break from Webster. He just played that magnificently.
Yeah, and Reed had some advice there for Schaefer back down the floor. Say, hey, give that up a little earlier as Crespo's 3 rattles out, and Reed collects the rebound. Yeah, it was a great job by Crespo, but aided by maybe a poor decision or a late decision by Schaefer. But he did play the position well on a 3-on-1 as Hibbert collects a cross-court pass. Defended by Alvarez, and then gives it up to Sykes. Works it down to Carl Moore Jr. Webb sells out, can't get there. Carl Moore will take 2.
Yeah, Moore's a load down there. If he gets it down there, you can almost count it.
Alvarez puts up a 3 and hits.
That's what I was talking about earlier. Greenville's going to have to hit some of those.
99-85, Panthers in front. Sykes, 3-on-1. Taim Como getting back. Goes straight up, and Sykes with a tough finish through contact. 99-87. Taim Como steps into a three. No good off the back heel. Crespo with the rebound. Dribbles to the free throw line and hits.
Yeah, right now Greenville doing a great job on the offensive boards.
Crespo comes up with a steal off the inbounds, flips it up and in over his head.
He looks like he's hurt. What a circus shot that was by Crespo. He doesn't want to come out, but he's limping. It looks like it might be a cramp, maybe in his calf muscle. He's going to have to come out. But what back-to-back plays, about 3 or 4 plays by Crespo to really give another little short run by the Panthers. They're up now 103-87 with a lifetime to go, 8 minutes. Crespo being worked on by the training staff at Greenville.
Moore will just bring it all the way across the timeline. Out of lane, gives it up to Diallo. Schaefer fakes. McCrary now dribbles back out to the perimeter, flips to Schaefer. They play a little catch. Diallo able to keep it in play. 10 to shoot now for the Gorlocks.
Yeah.
Diallo throws it away.
Greenville's just running around defensively with a ton of energy, and right now they just have a bit more than Webster does.
Well, example here, third line out. Webster can't field a third line. Again, not many can. Nobody plays the system like this. As Patrick collects from Acevedo. Gives it to Goad. Drives from the perimeter. Flips it up and in. Goad, tough finish.
This defense is just really, really forcing Webster to throw it away. That is the 32nd turnover, I believe, for Webster. Greenville scored 37 points off those 32 turnovers. Right now, that is the story of this run.
Absolutely, and all Chris Bunch can do is shake his head. As his team was firmly in the second half, and this is ballooned up to 18, 7 minutes to play. Patrick tried to get Goad, ball still loose.
Yeah.
Moore will pick it up for the Gorlocks, and Tully will step up to defend McCrary.
I think Patrick's got to take that little 7-footer.
Yeah. Diallo, 3 off the wing, no good. Reed, tough board, and then goes back up and in. Gets the bucket and one.
Yeah, the old-fashioned three-point play by Reed. You know, Reed's been fairly silent tonight, and that's been to the advantage of the Panthers because he's such a good player. In fact, he has 8 points right now, and he's 2 of 4 from the free throw line. He's only taken 5 shots.
Schaefer replaced. I believe it was Sykes who came back into the game. And Reed completes the old-fashioned. 105-90. Panthers of Greenville University in front. Tully's corner 3 on its way, short off the front of the rim. He might be searching for something now, and Patrick will commit a foul.
That's what you can't do there. I appreciate the aggressiveness of Patrick, but there's no reason to foul there.
No.
And you're just now going to continue to send, you know, one of the things we haven't seen here in these first, 12, 14 minutes is Webster parading to the charity stripe like they did the entire first half, and Greenville stayed away from that. I talked about that a few minutes ago where they only had 6 fouls. Now the game's going to change. These last 6:30, 6.5, Webster's going to keep parading to the line, and Moore says, hey, the bank's still open late Saturday night as he banks his first one in.
Yeah, wow. So the second on its way. No good off the back heel. So it makes the front end does more. And now Rodriguez will push up the floor. 6.5 minutes to play. Panthers in front of the Gorlocks. Rodriguez at the three-point line. Fakes a pass to Glenn. Gets it to Taj Como. To Williams. Bounce pass to Patrick. Off-balance shot, no good. Como gets the rebound, then his shot was blocked by Moore. Sykes back it the other way. We'll pull it back out. Rodriguez was trailing closely behind. Reed turns and floats it up. No good. Long outlet pass to Rodriguez. Spins around Sykes. No good off the backboard. Como's there. His first attempt, no. But the putback, yes. 107-91.
Yeah. Again, Greenville just really doing a nice job on the offensive boards. But they're going to have to find a way here. Up 107-91. Are they going to continue to parade Webster to the line? Now, Webster hasn't taken advantage of it. Webster has not shot from the free throw line as well as they need to. They've shot 63%, 21 of 33. Yeah, and then they missed this one. So coming down the stretch, Webster's going to have to take advantage of those opportunities from the charity.
Rodriguez to Patrick, to Como along the baseline. Faked, then tried to kick it out. Pass was stolen away. McCrary now. Williams coming up behind. McCrary forced to just turn and put it up. Shot was no good. Williams was there, but it went off his hand and out of bounds.
Neither team wants to take control right now.
No, and you thought the Panthers would. Up 18. Still 16, but it doesn't feel quite as large as that was some of the success, or at least trips to the line for the Gorlocks recently. But again, as part of the story of the game has been the Gorlocks have not made free throws. Into Sykes off the inbound. Carl Moore, he's fouled on his way up. He'll go to the line for two. Alvarez with a smile and a laugh to the official as he gets the number. It was close.
Yeah, I think Alvarez is saying, I didn't create the contact there. Moore's so good at it, though. Moore's so good at creating the contact and putting it in. There's just some guys that have that ability.
He misses the first.
I mean, you can talk about it all you want when the offense creates the contact and they are able to draw the foul, but, I mean, he's just gifted that way.
He is. He averages about 13 per game. And too strong on that. 0 for 2 and out of bounds back to the Gorlocks.
Yeah, Moore struggling a little bit from the free throw line right now. And showing just a tad bit of frustration. He's not the kind of kid to show any frustration.
Inbound to Luster, defended by Griffin. Tried to go baseline, gave him enough space. Now drives, reverse is good. Tough finish there by Luster. Griffin gave him enough space, though. Luster will carry across the timeline. Greenville bench wanted to walk. Hibbert, extra pass to Sykes. Carl Moore Jr. will collect and drive into the paint. Get two. 107-95.
Yep. Greenville's just throwing away some possessions here. And
Webb puts up a three from the wing. No good. Griffin will collect the rebound. Carry back out. Crespo to Webb. The free throw line. Turns, drives, can't get it to fall. Was about halfway down on the layup.
That's a nice shot by Webb. He usually puts that in.
Luster to Diallo. Alvarez forces him back on. He commits the foul, rather.
Yeah, it's double bonus rest of the way with 4:26, Tyler, and Webster just slowly chipping away at that 18-point lead.
Yeah, it's down to 12 now, 107-95, 4:26.
And Greenville looks a little lost offensively.
Yeah.
And they also look like, hey, we don't really know what style to play right now. You know, they got up 18 and it's 6.5, and you're saying, oh, wow, what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to keep playing at this, intense pace? And then they turned it over probably 3 or 4 possessions in a row. And Webster's converting on the other end. The only thing keeping this from being a 6-point game is Webster not taking advantage of their opportunities from the free throw line. They're shooting 58%. They're 21 of 36. And so I think that's the reason, that's the only reason this game isn't underneath 10 points.
4:26 to play. Kiari Patrick pacing all scorers well out in front with 31. He's got 9 rebounds as well, so rebound away from a double-double. He had one last night as well. 11 points, 11 rebounds for Patrick. Had a good game so far tonight. Leading the Gorlocks, Diallo with 16, closely behind is Sykes with 15, and Hibbert with 13 of his own. And at the line will be Diallo, 107.95.
Diallo tonight has been 6 of 8 from the line. So he's had a little bit of success. He doesn't like the ball they threw him, so he gives it back to the official. Said it was a little bit wet, so the officials are going to dry the ball off.
It's like a baseball game.
Yeah.
I don't want that one. Oh, we should be good to go. 4:26 to play. Diallo at the line. Panthers in front, 107-95. Both teams vying for their 4th conference championship. And the first is good.
The dry basketball goes in, so Diallo with the correct call there.
Yeah, smart. Second is up and in.
Yeah, Webster's just clawed their way right back into this game. Only down 10 now with 4:20 to go.
Williams drove and then tried to flip it to Patrick. Ball still loose and out of bounds. Last touched by Rodriguez.
Yeah, the Panthers just not taking care of the basketball real well right now. They act a little bit confused trying to attack this 2-3 zone. Webster did make an adjustment in that 2-3 zone coming out the second half. Where Greenville's been effective is when they have done this, and that is get a steal. But they've just been throwing it away right now, and that's Webster's ball again.
Yeah, Sykes stepped in front of that pass from Taj Como. Patrick tried to poke that one free. Hugo trying to work on Como. Como trying to go straight up. Hugo creates some space and gets 2. Tough finish. 107-99.
Greenville's going to have to find a way to attack this zone. You can see they've really slowed the pace down. And this is Webster's ball game right now in terms of pace.
A 9-2 run for the Gorlocks when it was 105-90. Into the near side corner. Williams has under 10 to shoot, puts it up, he's fouled.
Nice move by Williams, but right now this is a half-court game.
Yeah.
So if Greenville's going to win the game, they may have to win a half-court game against Webster, and that's the strength of Webster. So far, Greenville has stuck with their press. It's been the only way, quite frankly, Greenville's been able to score in the half court over the last 4 or 5 minutes. If they don't get a steal, they have not been able to score effectively.
First from Williams, no good. He knew it all along. Started walking that one.
Yeah, he almost followed his own shot all the way to the basket.
Tough miss there to try and make it a 9-point game. Williams puts it up and in. 108-99, Greenville in front.
And you can see Greenville now kind of dropping out of their press. So maybe Greenville's going to try to play this half court to finish it out.
Hibbert picks up his dribble, defended there by Williams. Gets it up to Carl Moore Jr. Cross-court pass was tipped, still makes its way to Diallo. Reed dribbles through the paint to Sykes. He gets it right back to him. Now Carl Moore Jr. goes up. Shot was blocked, and they're going to say last touched out of bounds by the Gorlocks. Head coach Chris Bunch can't believe it.
Yeah, I don't blame Bunch. I don't know how maybe it went back off of Moore. It was a nice defensive play by Patrick. Yeah. It didn't look like it was a foul, but it looked like it was off Patrick out of bounds.
I'm right there with you. Saw it the same way. Under 3 to play. 108-99.
Yeah, Greenville's clearly now going to try to use clock. Just as I say that, Glenn fires a long one.
Not what you want if you're the Panthers.
I'm sorry, fans. It looked to me like they were slowing it down. Glenn had other ideas.
Diallo to Carl Moore, who works around Glenn and gets one off the window.
All of a sudden, it's a 7-point game just like that.
Hanging around.
And Greenville is going to have to find a rhythm here. I think they're going to have to go to Patrick.
Yeah.
And Patrick's going to have to be aggressive in there.
Rodriguez tried to fire one towards the baseline. It was tipped. He's able to recollect. Now drives, drops it to Taj Como. Shot was blocked with about 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Hibbert back the other way. Sykes almost walked. Gets it up to Reed. His shot was blocked. Webster said it was on the way down. Officials say not so much.
Yeah, I think they're just going to say it's Webster ball.
Yeah.
Going to say it's a clean block.
It was close. I do not blame any of the Gorlock faithful, teammates or whoever, because that was about at its peak when that shot was blocked.
Coach Barber with a good timeout here. Panthers only up by 7 with 1:49. And Webster still has 21 seconds. You better believe that Chris Bunch is going to draw something up here to give Webster a good look. And Coach Barber down there on his end trying to devise something. And I don't know what he saw, but he saw something that he wanted to. He just is not a guy in this system that calls many timeouts. But, all the momentum that Greenville had, pressing and everything, has completely come to a halt.
Yeah.
And I would say a lot of that has had to do with Greenville's offense kind of coming to a halt and committing turnovers.
Looks like Diallo will inbound for the Gorlocks as we wipe up some perspiration just in front of the Panther bench. Webb will check into the game a little prematurely.
Yeah, and this is a good move here. We need Webb. Now they're not going to allow Webb to come in. But I think Coach Barber wanted to make a defensive substitution there.
So Webb will have to wait. Williams defending the inbounds pass of Diallo. Gorlock's been playing with a little bit of alligator blood here in the second half. Just been sticking around, being tough. Sykes tried to work over Rodriguez and get it to Carl Moore, stolen away by Williams.
That's critical right there. Really good defense by the Panthers. They were looking to go into more.
Approaching the final 90 seconds.
Webster's going to let Greenville hold on to the ball.
Why not? 15 to shoot. Rodriguez drives, spins around Hibbert, looking for help, finds Williams, under 10 to shoot. Fakes left, goes right. Got to get a shot off. 3 seconds. Rodriguez drives, flips it up with the left. High off the window and good.
Wow. Couldn't ask for it to go any better than that.
Wow.
Shoot it at the buzzer and get it to go by Rodriguez.
Back at the other end, Diallo for the Gorlocks. And he threw it back, trying for a teammate, and Williams was the first to touch it. Allows Diallo to get it, but Taj Como comes away with a steal.
Nice job, nice job there by Williams. Nice kick out by Williams. Now they got a foul. A really good play there, folks, by Williams. All the momentum was telling Greenville to shoot the ball. They're up 9 with 47 seconds. Williams decides to hold it, and now Greenville will go to the line. I can't emphasize what a great play that was. The entire bench was up trying to communicate to Williams on what to do. And, folks, the reason why I say that is because Greenville plays this intense system, it is so difficult to know when to slow it down.
Glenn at the line. Makes the first. Front end of the 1-and-1. Good. Glenn puts the Panthers up by 10. Remind everyone we'll have the trophy ceremony, the presentation of all the all-conference teams at the conclusion of this game. Glenn second. Left it short off the front of the rim. Rebound to the Gorlocks is Diallo. will run the point, work it up the floor. Flips it to Hibbert, who throws it down towards the baseline, out of bounds, turns it back over to the Panthers. Just about 38 seconds to play. Now Webb will come back into the game. Replaces Grimmett Glenn.
And now Greenville's just going to have to hit free throws depending upon if Coach Bunch, I would think he'd want to foul quickly.
Yeah, he's calling for the press. Schaefer will come out of the game. He wants as many up as possible.
And this isn't something he usually does, but they do foul right away. So now it's going to come down to a free throw shooting contest to see if Webster can't get back in the game.
You said something last night, Doug, if I'm not mistaken, when Rodriguez was taking 3 consecutive trips to the line, said, well, this will be good practice if Greenville were to win and play for tonight. Well, he's just in that spot right now.
He went 6 for 6 last night, if I'm not mistaken, at the tail end of that game.
Yep.
Let's see if he can continue the streak.
He will have to make the front end. It's up and good. 112-101. What a game this has been. Everything you'd expect out of a championship game.
Yeah, 114-109 at Webster, 119-115 here earlier, and it's 112-101 now.
Second no good off the back of the rim. Schaefer push the pace, puts up a 3 off the wing, no good. Webb is there for the rebound, gets it to Rodriguez, makes a man miss, will carry up the floor, and he's fouled by Schaefer. 24 seconds to play, all but academic now for the Greenville Panthers, who have won 13 straight. Looks like it'll be 14.
Yeah, this looks like for Greenville College, this could be a trip to the NCAAs, but I don't count anything over.
The first is good from Rodriguez, shooting 2, 113-101. Webster fans being serenaded by the Greenville students. It'll feel longer than an hour, I'm sure, back across the river. As Rodriguez makes them both. 114-101. McCrary back down the floor. Diallo's 3 in stride is good. Timeout called immediately by Chris Bunch. 10-point game, 17 seconds to play.
Yeah, a 10-point lead here with 17 seconds. You'd certainly think this one is over. I think Chris Bunch just coaching this one out.
Yep.
You know, doing everything he can. The three-point shot just really makes this game of basketball so much different. So a couple steals here and there, and you can be right back in it.
Panthers excited to get back out onto the floor, and I wonder why, up 10 with 17 seconds to play. The assistant coaches, John Fisher, Paul Merrifield, in that timeout for Greenville exchanged a little bit of a clap on the shoulder, as they don't want to show too much emotion just yet either. Into Rodriguez. He's fouled. Try this again. Bring it down the
Coach
floor.
Barber has done a nice job with this team.
Yeah.
And I think you can point to a lot of different things. Gerard Webb, all-conference player, he's been the one steady hand on this ship who's played really consistent all year. I think Rodriguez playing his best basketball down the stretch here has been a big part of this run. I think the Como brothers doing a great job on the boards and in the press. And Kiari Patrick as well, just playing, one of his better first halves of the season.
Yeah. Rodriguez goes 1 for 2, an 11-point Panther lead. Shot put up by McCrary, no good. And tracked down by Grimmett Glenn. He will not have to dribble if he doesn't want to. He will. And he'll run out the clock as the Greenville Panthers have won their first SLIAC championship since 2018, their 4th in school history. 14 straight wins, 20 on the year, and they're heading to the NCAA tournament.
Well, congratulations to the Panthers. Congratulations to Coach Barber and his staff for just making a great run, really, since their last defeat to these very same Webster Gorlocks. And Chris Bunch, the head coach there.
As both teams shake it up, what a great game this was. 115-104 our final. And Doug laid out the scores from the regular season. It was a split, and you knew this game would probably follow suit. And, well, it did not disappoint. It was a fun one, and great to watch these two great teams compete and now shake it up after the game. And a lot of recognition from the hard work for both these teams.
Yeah, Chris Bunch did a nice job. His team didn't finish playing great basketball. They had lost, I think you had said 3 out of 4 maybe.
I think 2 of 4, maybe 3 of 4 to close the regular season. And, yeah, you wouldn't think necessarily that's the momentum you want to carry. They work their way here. They get a big win over number 2. Grimmy Glenn does his best Ozzie Smith. And it's a party here at H.J. Long for the Panther fans.
Yeah, they deserve to celebrate. These guys have really worked hard. They bought into a system. And it wasn't an easy year. I was with Coach Barber all year long in terms of the conversations that you have and about when things aren't necessarily going the way you want them. And that was the case really up through Christmas. And it just seemed like after Christmas, this team kind of came back and slowly worked themselves into believing and trusting one another and playing really hard in the press, and that turned this season around in my mind.
Well, that's Doug Faulkner. I'm Tyler Rosen. It's been so fun covering basketball all year long, and especially throughout the weekend. We're going to wrap it up for ourselves here. Again, we're going to keep the mics on, keep the camera rolling, bring you the awards, the trophy presentation, all that good stuff, but we'll sign it off here. For my partner, Doug Faulkner, I'm Tyler Rosen, reminding you of our final score. The Greenville Panthers victorious over the Webster Gorlocks, winning their first SLIAC championship since 2018 and 4th in program history by a score of 115-104. Until next time on SLIAC TV.
Now we will recognize the 2024 All-Conference team, starting with our SLIAC All-Defensive team. From the Mississippi University for women, Darian Goss. From Small University, Jacoby Johnson. From SLIAC College, Chloe Madison. From Webster University, Carl Moore Jr. It's now time for the individual award winners for the 2025. The sixth man of the year from Mississippi University for Women, Eric Bass Jr. The individual selected for the 2024-2025 SLIAC Freshman of the Year from Webster College, Greenville, Johnson. The 2025 SLIAC Coach of the Year from Spalding University, Kevin Gray. And the final individual award is presented to the 2024-2025 Singles Collegiate Athletic Conference Player of the Year from Spalding University, Anthony Dillard. And now, it is time to present the 2025 Men's Basketball Tournament Awards. First, we would like to recognize the 2025 All-Tournament Team. From Colorado University, Charles Nelson. From Mississippi University for Women, Cam Smith. From Eureka College, P.B. Brown. From Webster, Alpha Diallo. From Webster, Joe Francis II. From Greenville University, Carlos Westphal.
His face. He's like,
From Greenville University, Vincent Rodriguez. Ladies and gentlemen, the most valuable player of the 2025 SLIAC Tournament from Greenville University, Keontae Patrick. And now, the 2025 SLIAC Men's Basketball Tournament Champion, Greenville University. Ladies and gentlemen,